Hello and welcome to CLEA'S World. I am Clea, and today I would like to share with you more of the information I've received from the 25th dimension during my last QHHT Hypnosis session. I'll be reading from a transcript of the session, and when I refer to Lorrayne, I'm speaking to my practitioner who's asking me questions I prepared in advance of the session. And when I refer to me, I'm speaking to myself under hypnosis, which means the answers are coming from the 25th. Without further ado, I'm going to start reading here. And the part of the session we're going through today is dreams. I know that many of you enjoy these dream interpretations, especially because they are generally messages that I get just like I get during hypnosis sessions. And I can tell what they refer to most of the time, but it's always interesting for me to ask the 25th because they obviously go a lot deeper into what they mean. So here we go. So Lorrayne is reading this dream that I had on the 2nd of June. There were a bunch of people in a big house. It was a place we had gone to for my wedding, like in a destination wedding, where all the guests are staying together. And it was just us friends invited to the wedding. We spent a week there hanging out. And on the second to last day, I was supposed to get married. I don't know who I was getting married to, but the day of the wedding, I went to this room to get dressed with some girls and Amanda, who was taking care of everything. I put on a wedding dress, which looked more like an evening gown and wasn't even white. It had thin shoulder straps and really deep cuts on the front and sides, to the point that you could see my breasts from all angles, and I didn't feel comfortable with it. I wonder why I hadn't tried it on before, but I told Amanda that I couldn't wear it. Luckily, we were in a room with dozens and dozens of dresses, like in a store. They were all light and airy, which was perfect, but there were no white ones. To save time and avoid having to try on different dresses, I thought I could wear the one I'd worn the day before when we had all dressed up to take photos. It was white with small red strawberries on it, very springy, light and fun. I wasn't crazy about wearing the same dress I'd worn the day before, but I knew it would work. But Amanda thought I should wear this light pink dress instead. I had reservations about wearing pink. I told her I wasn't really a pink dress kind of girl, but I was open to trying it because it would make her happy, and I could always change it and put on the one I wanted to put on. She was already ironing the pink dress, and it was taking her a while. Suddenly, though, before I could try it, I found myself completely dressed in winter clothes, with a fur shawl, gloves, everything, as if I was going out in the cold. I started taking these clothes off so I could try on the pink dress when it was ready, but as soon as I made progress, I was dressed again in a new set of winter clothes. Not only, there were so many pieces to the outfit that it took a while to take everything off, and it was hot, too, since we were in spring. I took off a couple of outfits, and then I asked Amanda why this was happening. And she said that Arlo, a 6-year-old kid, must have been outside playing on his iPad, and in this game, he was dressing me up. He basically had a video game where he could change people's clothes, and since he liked me because I had been nice to him, he wanted to play with my character. I was flattered that he liked me enough to choose me as his character, but I was getting tired of taking off clothes. But I acknowledged what Amanda said and left it at that. However, the outfits continued changing. It was taking me forever to get out of them, and I was getting tired. When finally Amanda said she'd go out and tell Arlo to stop, leaving me to wonder why she hadn't done that before instead of waiting so long. While waiting for Amanda to return, I left the room and found a few ladies sitting on a sofa waiting outside the room. They were bored and asked if they could get a massage, as if they were just hanging out filling time, unaware of the fact that we were supposed to be ready by a certain time. Amanda told them that she had arranged massages for everyone and they could go do it, as if nobody was in a hurry to get the wedding done. But I was glad Amanda was on top of everything and the ladies were happy. When I got back to the dressing room, Jack was sitting there with us, and Jack is my ex-husband. I wondered why he would come to my wedding. It didn't bother me to have him there. I had no feelings about him, but I didn't know why he was there, why he would want to see me get married again to someone else. Then I looked outside the window. I could see all the male guests in the grass outside, all dressed up, waiting for the wedding to start. But it started raining hard, and I thought we should cancel the wedding. I had taken too long to get dressed, and now the window of opportunity had closed. I thought we could just enjoy ourselves this week and turn this into a fun getaway for friends to get together, and then we could have another wedding ceremony at a later time. But I figured this would be too much. They would be tired of coming out to celebrate me. It would be too selfish on my part. I'd missed my chance. I asked Jack to tell him to come in so they wouldn't get wet. Me. Yeah, so this dream, first of all, we'll say this dream was from a few days ago, and therefore we have since, or Clea has since completed the project for herself. And therefore, some of the feelings or the themes in that dream no longer apply, because the dream, similarly to other dreams we discussed, for example, in the last session, has to do with, of course, the event. But now we know the event or wedding, however, shows up for different people. For Kath, for example, is showing up as graduation often. And even for Clea this morning, showed up as a graduation. The event obviously means the takedown. The fact that in this case, it was supposed to be tomorrow is because it is getting closer. Doesn't mean tomorrow. We already discussed that the timelines given in dreams are not actual timelines. They just give us the sensation of, are we talking about a very far away time, or are we talking about something close? That kind of thing. And not only the passage of time in terms of the dream, because we already said there is no timeline to this particular project we've been doing. And so in that dream, there was the part where, again, Claire is dealing with what she wants to do, and the fact that there are so many delays, so many people messing with her, and she's being nice. She's saying, okay, fine, I'll go along with it, which is what we've all done here, all of us. We have said, okay, fine, I'll go along with it. And so when Amanda, for example, in the dream says, okay, I'm going to go stop this because clearly it is delaying us so much, Claire goes, why couldn't she do that before? Why have we dealt with this, right? But she's grateful that Amanda is going to take care of it because, again, we've all gone along. Even now, we're waiting for everybody to be done with a good degree of patience, since you mentioned patience just a few minutes ago. Now, not patience in the sense of, oh my goodness, these people are slowing me down, in the way that it's coming up in his dreams. These people are slowing me down. Why do they have to be so slow? We don't mean it like that. From a higher self perspective, we have no concerns about how long this is taking. We're already spoken about this. This is such a huge project, a huge realization for us, such a game changer that we're not here worried about the extra week, the extra month, even the extra year, really. However, we do understand from a 3D perspective, this is experienced very, very differently. So that's why we're always so concerned about when is this happening? When is it happening? Now, of course, as you mentioned, Lorrayne and Claire is in the same spot. We've kind of given up on that in terms of trying to guess when it's going to happen, especially when we told you since last July that there was no timeline for this project. But we're all exhausted, as you well know. And therefore, we do want to know that, we're not going to be here for another 10, 20, 30 years. And so that said, we are in the dream. We're in a situation where everybody's taking their time, including the ladies sitting outside the room. They're just hanging out as if there's nothing going on, when Claire is thinking, we have a timeline here. We have to get this done. This is important. We can't be late. It's a wedding. We can't be rude. And meanwhile, the ladies are asking, hey, could I get a massage? You see, so we don't all have the same degree of urgency that Claire has, which again is fine, because we're all working at our pace, which is exactly the perfect pace that we're supposed to keep individually. And again, individually, quote unquote, as always. But basically in this dream, the delays were due to the clothing. Like she's dressed again. So she can't even get to the point where she's going to try this dress and decide, am I wearing the pink dress, the white dress, or whatever it is? Now, the other interesting thing is that Jack was there. Now, Jack has been in a lot of Claire's dreams. In fact, Claire has been wondering, why is Jack in my dreams? So Jack is her ex-husband. And in this dream, she doesn't have any resistance to him. She doesn't feel the feelings that she used to feel. She's very much at peace with him. So he not only represents 3D, of course, but he also has been a big part of her life, has been a big tool, a big vehicle for Claire achieving the things she's wanted to achieve, that have brought her to the conscious awareness that she has now. And so in this dream, she sees that he was an ally, really a teammate in some ways, even though he was not on the team of the light, somebody who has helped her achieve certain things. And so he's very much a neutral figure in these dreams now. She has no resentment in these dreams. And so she's even wondering, why is he here? Because the truth is that he is gone. He's already been back with the 25th dimension for a while, since last year. And so she's saying, why is he here? Why would he even want to come to my wedding? Which means, why would he even want to come to the takedown? He's not here anymore. And truthfully, it's not because he technically is coming to the takedown. Of course, he will see it from the 25th. He will see it. But he's not coming physically to the takedown or to the wedding in this case. He was just somebody who has helped, basically who has been part of us getting ready for this. And this is why he's showing up. And he's showing up in all different scenes in the different dreams. And so then it starts raining. Here you go, another delay. So yes, Claire was very much, because again, the completion has happened in the past 3 days. This was a dream from earlier. And in the dream, very much it was about the fact there was another delay. We're not leaving yet. and we are not leaving yet. We're not leaving right this moment. We haven't had the recall yet. And so basically Clea is thinking, I missed my opportunity. But really, we have missed our opportunity in that sense. We should have been gone last year, but then we decided to stay longer. So yes, in that sense, from a 3D perspective, we missed the opportunity to get out of here. But at the same time, it's fine. Clea is not thinking, okay, we can't do this anymore. She's thinking, oh, maybe I'll do it in the future, or maybe I don't know if I want to do it or how it's going to work out, et cetera, et cetera. I don't want to be the center of attention. I don't want to make it look like it's all about me. I'm going to drag everybody out again and say, we've got to celebrate me, 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 me. But it's not that, right? Again, this was when she was still dealing with the fact that we weren't done yet. We weren't ready. She wasn't ready in the dream. She wasn't even dressed. But that has changed over the last few days. And if you've heard the previous videos in the session, you know that I had a dream where they showed me that we have accomplished this project, and we don't have the recall yet because not everybody has realized that we have accomplished the project, but at the same time, the project is completed in the sense that we do know that we create our reality. Lorrayne, thank you. Okay, you've already answered this, but Clea has put it in here between dreams. What's going on? Are we not doing a takedown anymore? Is it my fault because I'm not completed somehow? Or am I focusing too much on making other people happy and I can't get to the point? What's going on? Me. They were chuckling. Yeah, we've already answered this. It's not, she wasn't doing anything wrong. It's just the time that is taken. Yes, of course, we're still having a takedown. Nothing to worry about in that sense. And I was going to take this section out because it's now obvious after everything they've explained. But I just wanted to leave it in here because sometimes, I'm sure if I do it, some of you might be doing it as well. They were like, is this still happening? Like, is this real? We're still doing this. Still, at this point in the game, we're still asking, is this still real? Is this still happening? We're in 3D here. This is how it is. So we're just going to give ourselves some grace. Lorrayne, I have those moments myself, so I completely understand. And the 25th was laughing. Okay, dream from 3rd of June. Before going to bed, I asked to know what is going on, especially because of yesterday's dream. I dreamed that I was on a cruise ship. There were lots of people, but something was going to happen. I knew the ship would tank, and I was telling people to get off. I was fine, meaning that I was going to get off, but someone needed to go downstairs to get something before he could get off. So I went with him because this was not good. And indeed, when we got to his room, there was already water up to the top of the bed and stuff was floating in it. I was helping him get his stuff, but I was also thinking that I wish we weren't doing that and that we needed to leave. And we managed to get done. But then the situation went on repeat as someone else needed to get something. And I found myself in another room filled with water up to my hip looking for stuff. It happened 3 times in total. Then there was another scene. I was in an office and there were a woman and a man there. The man was telling me that this woman was very successful. It could fix anybody's financial situation. I was excited because she could help me. But when he mentioned that she also got 613 foreclosure leads per month, I thought I could help her by doing short sales. She told me that they sent emails with Denzel Washington's picture to people, and it was crazy how they responded in droves. In my opinion, it was strange that someone would respond to something like this when it came to a house problem, but it didn't surprise me as people like celebrities and value their opinions even when it doesn't make any sense. So 2 separate sections of this dream. And a couple of things here. First of all, short sales is just a way to avoid foreclosure. This is something that I've done for the last several years. I am in real estate. So obviously the dream will come to me in a format that I can recognize. But I wanted to explain just in case you guys are not familiar. I know it's jargon, basically. And the first part of the dream actually was very close to home for me because I have been in the tsunami that happened in 2004 that wiped out a lot of Southeast Asia. I was in Thailand at the time, in Phi Phi, which is an island off the coast of Thailand. And I remember very clearly going back to our bungalow by walking over entire villages that were flattened to the floor, to the ground. And we were actually walking on roofs, on what had previously been roofs standing, on top of houses. And now they were on the ground and there were electric wires everywhere and bodies and all of that. And we actually walked into our bungalow, which somehow was still standing because it was in the back of the beach. And there was water on the floor. Everything was soaked and our stuff was everywhere. Basically, there were clothes strewn about and all that. So this image, this visual for this dream was very close to home for me, and with all the frustration and everything. Me, yeah. So the first section clearly represents what we've been discussing so far, which is Clea is ready to go. We've got to get off this ship. But there are still people wanting to hang on and hang around with different excuses like, oh, I got to go get this one thing from my room. And it's not safe because we're running out of time. That refers to the veil. The veil is thinning very quickly. We're not going to hold this reality. This reality is barely holding on by a thread at this point. We already see how many glitches we run into. So that's why Clea is saying, let's just get out of here. We got to go. But there are people still lingering. And again, not because they're slowpokes or because they're doing something wrong, but because not everybody's ready to leave right this minute. And this is the interesting part, because you know as well as I do that at 3D level, everybody says, oh, I'm so tired of this place, I want to go. But that's not actually true. At higher self level, a lot of us are wanting to still complete certain things because a lot of us, for example, have not really accepted the fact that we're not ready to deal with the fact that our loved ones, many of them, will not be able to see anymore in person because they've gone to 3D chambers. Some have gone back to the 25th. And the fact that we're going to have to deal with what's happening here, we're not necessarily in a hurry to get there. So while we may say, I can't stand it here anymore, we still want this reality for a little bit longer. A lot of us are still dealing with the fact that we're going to be mourning this planet because we have loved this planet and all these things. And we just need to finish some stuff, some work that we're doing. And so again, there is no timeline where you're like, oh, but you're late, oh, but you're early. It doesn't work that way. And so in this case, that's what we're dealing with. That's what the dream was referring to, that first part. And of course, Clea is helping people finish up things, saying, okay, I'll go with you to the room to get that. This is the work she's doing, right? She's saying, it's dangerous, don't go there, but fine, I'll go with you to make sure you're okay. And this is the work she's doing by spreading this information. She's saying, let me help you out. Let's at least get through this together so we can make sure we're out of here. And we'll get out of here. She's under no doubt that she'll go. They'll get the stuff and then they'll get out. Even though this is happening again and again, because we're still not out. So that was the repetition. And again, you notice probably the number 3, the repetition, right? We need to get to 3 before we're out of here. This is the number 3 we talked about in the past few sessions. That basically refers to the phases we've had here. The phase before the takedown in July 2022, the takedown, everything involved in the takedown except for the takedown of the planet. And then the project we're doing right now, which is number 2. And then 3 is going to be when we finally basically make the takedown, the actual takedown of the planet happen. So that was that. And then we have the second part of the dream, which was referring to the fact that, again, Clea's reality, 3D reality, is changing in ways where she has access now. In the dream, she has access to people that can change her life. Her 3D experience is what it means. And she doesn't really question how it happens. For example, in the dream, she found it very strange. And she goes, oh, you're doing all these things by having a celebrity talk about finances? Why would a celebrity know anything about finance? It's so weird that people believe these things. But in the meantime, she has no problem with that. She goes, great, I'm glad that I know her and I can work with her and this can change my life or my experience while I'm still here. And we were just discussing that, which is exactly what Clea is doing right now. She's focusing on her 3D because it is a distraction. It makes time go by, especially if it's pleasant. Like right now, she's having fun with it. And so that's okay. It does make the days go by faster. I hope you enjoyed this video. Thank you, as always, for watching, and I'll see you in the next one. Take care.